for those of you who just watched my Guess Who's Back video, yes, I'm wearing the same outfit because I'm filming 3 videos while my brother's away so that he doesn't make fun of me. Yeah. So today I'm doing a book that I've been interested in for a long time, and I saw that it was at my local library and I thought, why not? And it's also becoming a Netflix movie in August. Yes, I am talking about To All the Boys I've Loved Before by Jenny Han. Before I get into spoilers, we're just going to in overall how I felt about it. I think I gave it, what did I give this on Goodreads? I either gave it 3 or 4 stars. I'll fix that post-credit and find out what I actually gave it. But it was a really good book. I really liked it. I think I liked all the characters, besides Margot, which I'll get into later. She wasn't my favorite person. But I like the family dynamic, especially because our main character is Korean American. Her dad is white and her mother was of Korean descent. And I thought that was actually very interesting to read. I'm trying to get more into more diverse books throughout 2018. And June is Pride Month, so even though this isn't LGBT specific, I wanted to read more diverse books throughout the month of June. I should make it specific though to LGBT now that I think about it. So be prepared for that for June. Also, don't worry about my eye. I saw a dog today who's my favorite pupper ever, but I am allergic to dogs. So my eye is slightly swollen from allergies, but it was worth it because I love dogs. So for those of you who don't know what this book is about, our main character, Laura Jean, writes a love letter to all of her crushes, aka to all the boys that she's ever loved, but she's never mailed them until one day they all get mailed mysteriously, and so she has to face the consequences of being in love with her sister's boyfriend and a guy she had a crush on in childhood and all this other repercussions. And it was just a fun little drama-y kind of story. It kind of reminded me of a Korean drama, probably because my roommate Amber watches them all the time, so I know like the specific elements of everything. With the Korean drama stuff, I think of that specifically when it comes to how Laura Jean and Peter kind of interact with each other. From the few Korean dramas I watched, it's very much not a physical relationship. Throughout the series of a Korean drama, which could be 15 episodes, or usually I think it's like 30 plus episodes. Yeah, that's it, because they don't usually even become a relationship until like episode 10 or 15, and it's very much a building thing. But what I notice in Korean dramas is the big moments are the physical moments. And it's small physical moments. When they first hold hands, when they first hug, and that can take episodes upon episodes to happen. And that's kind of what was happening in this book. Like, we had a big moment, you know, where Peter kissed her a couple of times. But I feel like the bigger moments where he would just put his arm around her and she was just like, oh, like, this is so nice. Or he would like hold her hand, or nothing too overly sexual, which I really liked, especially because they're in high school. And yes, you know, high schoolers have sex, but they're still young. And it's so nice that we don't have to worry about all of this other stuff going on. They're just slowly getting into this relationship. But yeah, overall, I really like the characters, the plot setting, everything. And I think that's honestly gonna be it for the spoiler-free section. All my reviews are gonna be spoilery, just so you know. So if you're not here for a spoilery review, go find someone else who's giving a non-spoiler one, because I don't really know how to do that. I should probably learn just to help just to help people out there. But I really highly recommend this book, and I highly recommend that you read it before watching this video or any other spoiler review video. But without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, I might be the only person out there who feels this way, and if you don't, let me know in the comments. I didn't like Margot, the older sister. I didn't like her from the beginning. I mean, I was like indifferent to her in the beginning of like, oh, she's the older sister, she's had to take care of everybody her entire life, you know, blah blah blah, mom died young, you know, taking over the family kind of thing. But I guess when I got to learn more about who Laura Jean was without Margot, I like Laura Jean more than Margot, especially when Margot came back from being in Scotland overseas. I figured we would have a change of character, because, you know, you're overseas. People are like, oh, I spent a month in Europe, you know, I learned so much, you know, blah blah blah. We didn't really get that. She kind of got annoying when she came back. She did not like Peter, who Peter is bae. Love me some Peter. And I didn't feel like it was justified why she didn't like Peter. She just didn't like him because of his reputation, which can be understandable. She's been in Scotland for months. But she didn't even give the guy a chance. Like, Kitty and her dad did. And they only started not to like him when Margot said she didn't like him, which I don't think is fair. They've liked him since they basically met him, especially Kitty. Kitty kind of latched on right away. But I don't know. I just didn't like Margot, especially coming back and not acknowledging that Lara Jean did a lot while she was gone. She helped Kitty mature and do her own laundry, which then earned her a puppy in the end, you know? And she didn't want Kitty getting the puppy. She thought Kitty couldn't take care of it. And Lara Jean's like, you're not here to see her grow. Like, I don't understand why you won't do it. And maybe it's because she doesn't want to admit that they can take care of themselves without her. I don't know. We'll probably learn more in the sequel. But as of right now, I'm not a fan of Margot. She needs to calm down and let Lara Jean do her thing. And I also wonder if she's going back to Scotland in the next book. Because currently, we are on winter break. So I'm assuming the next book will be like winter break into the school year. So Lara Jean. So Margot has to go back to Scotland. But will she? Will she stay at home, not being comfortable in Scotland? We don't really know what she did in Scotland. Supposedly, like, she went out to pubs and stuff, but, like, I don't know. I don't see Margot actually doing that. We'll see. Maybe we'll learn in the next book. I don't know. To continue our saga with sisters, I liked Kitty. I liked her from the beginning. I mean, she kind of had that very childish little sister aspect, but I don't know, she didn't really get on my nerves. I thought she was just a fun character to have around and to kind of be that butting head against Lara Jean. You know, not all sisters get along right away. They can't be Margot and Lara Jean. They even admit in the book that Margot and Lara Jean didn't get along before their mom died, and it was only because their mom died that they started getting along. So I really like that counter aspect, especially when Margot left and it was just Lara Jean and Kitty. And yeah, there was some tension in the beginning when Lara Jean crashed the car, all that kind of stuff, just trying to settle down without Margot being there. But I like the relationship in the end. Even though, spoiler, big spoiler for the book, Kitty is the one who mailed all the letters, which I figured out as soon as it happened. It was very obvious to me that it was Kitty who did it. Like, who else would have done it but Kitty? Because, you know, Lara Jean, I think Lara Jean didn't admit it, but teased her about her crush on Josh. Which, why does everyone have a crush on Josh? Nope. I'm getting to that. I'm getting to that later. But anyway, I'm glad Kitty admitted it now and not the last book. That way her and Lara Jean can work their way through it. And it made Kitty grow as a person to admit, like, hey, I messed up. This is what I did, and I'm so sorry that I messed up your relationship. I thought that was very mature of Kitty, especially from where she went in the beginning of being, like, the baby of the family, especially because Margot treats her like the baby of the family. And once Margot's gone, Lara Jean's like, no, like, if you want to be a grown-up, you gotta do all this stuff. And Kitty starts doing it, and she starts changing. And even when Margot comes back, she doesn't change back into that little baby sister thing, and she earns herself a puppy. And I thought that was so great. Can we talk about Josh? I don't like him. I do not trust that man. I liked him in the first few chapters when Lara Jean was like, oh my god, I'm in love with my sister's boyfriend, blah, 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 blah. You know, I think it was just because, like, I only see things through her eyes. So I'm like, oh, like, he seems like a nice guy. But I don't know, throughout the whole thing, especially with her fake relationship with Peter, he was just so annoying. Like, especially when he got the letter and he's like, you didn't let me say what I wanted to say. Like, what if I've been in love with you this whole time? And it's like, you've also been in love with Margot. But you claim you love her too, but you're always hanging out with the two. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. Like, if you love Lara Jean, don't go out with her sister. Or if you are in love with Lara Jean, it's a little too late. Because honestly, for me personally, that would be awkward if I had a sibling date somebody that I had already dated. I would not like that at all. I mean, that's just me. People are different. Whatever. But I don't know. I don't trust Josh. Don't trust him one bit. When he kissed Lara Jean without her permission, I was just like, nope, don't like you at all. And he totally planned that Harry Potter Halloween thing. There's no way he just happened to, you know, show up in a Harry Potter costume. Like, he could have chosen anything, but she happened to be Cho Chang, which I found so sad, but it's so true that when any person of Asian descent, which is what I'm going to say because I don't know the correct terminology and I don't want to offend anybody, when they dress up as any character from anything. Everyone assumes that they are an anime character or some Asian performer or whatever, which is so sad because you can dress up as anything and it doesn't matter whatever you are. Like, she could have been Hermione if she wanted to be, or Luna Lovegood, whatever. But she felt like she had to dress up like Cho Chang because that's the only Asian character in Harry Potter. Wow. Harry Potter's not that diverse. If you really think about it. It's like mainly white people. Dean's black, right? Yeah. And then there's Cho Chang. I think that's it. Technically, if we're going movie-wise, those are the only two. Although I don't like the Cursed Child, which I will get into in a different video for different things. But I liked how in the production of the Cursed Child, it is more diverse, especially with Hermione being a black woman. I really like that because there's nothing specifically saying that she is white, you know? And I like I've seen fan arts and stuff of, I think it's Harry of Indian descent, if I'm correct, or maybe Middle Eastern, I'm not entirely sure. I like those. Those are so cool, and it just shows more diversity. It allows more people to connect with characters. And yeah, wow, Harry Potter. You don't really think about it until you start talking about it, and you're like, J.K. Rowling, pretty white. And, you know, people have the argument that it's in the UK, but like, that's nothing. The UK took over the world, and people from everywhere went there, you know? Like, that's not a valid argument, especially, well, it was in the 90s, but like, that still doesn't count. It doesn't matter. So now we're gonna talk about my favorite character in the book, Peter. Oh, I didn't like him at first, I will admit. But again, it's because I was seeing it through Laura Jean's eyes. I definitely saw him as, you know, the playboy, the bad boy that she's gonna have this crush on. And I'm like, oh, it's fine. She'll have a little crush on him, but then we'll get back to Josh. And then when I stopped liking Josh, started being on Team Peter. Love me some Peter. I think I started liking him, especially in the scene after she ran in the hallway, jumped him, and kissed him. And he kissed her back. Just want to put that in there. When she's waiting for him outside the locker room, and I wonder if I can... Oh, you're really funny, Laura Jean. I love when he says that. It's very early on in the book. She's waiting for him outside the boys' locker room. She's like, oh, so about this morning. He's just like, yeah, that was funny, right? A dumb joke. He's like, look, you know, I think you're cute. I'm still into my girl, Jen. You know, I can't really be someone's boyfriend right now. And she's like, oh, he also said she's cute in a quirky way, which don't really know what that means, but it still touched my heart because I was like, oh, he thinks she's cute. Yeah, but he's like, you know, I think it's flattering, like, you still like me. And of course you still like me. And she interrupts him and she's like, I don't like you. There's a reason I jumped on you. Oh, so there's no reason you should feel flattered. Now it's Peter's turn to look taken aback. He quickly looks around to see if anyone heard. He leans forward and whispers, then why did you kiss me? I kissed you because I don't like you, I explain, like this should be obvious. See, my letters got sent out by someone, not me. Wait a minute, letters? How many of us are there? 5, and the guy I do like got one too. Who? You know, blah, 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 blah. Oh, I told Josh that you were my boyfriend. So you used me to save face? I mean, basically. You're a funny girl, Laura Jean. But anyway, I don't know. I just thought that scene was cute. Where she was like, wait, no, I don't like you. And he's just like, yeah, that's funny. Yes, you did. She's like, no, I have no feelings for you whatsoever. And I feel like in that scene, he was just like, challenge accepted. And there are just cute scenes throughout the book where, I mean, obviously he's still very much into his ex-girlfriend, but you can see the scenes where he's just like, oh, Laura Jean. Like, when he picks up her and Kitty one day, he's in this fancy schmancy car. I forget the name of it. I don't know cars. But he picks him up in that, and Kitty's like, this isn't safe. I'm gonna die. And then the next time he picks him up, he's in his mom's minivan. And that was, oh my god. Wow. Overreacting, Ashleigh. Okay. So there was this one, I think it's a necklace, that Laura Jean likes at Peter's mom's shop. And she's always liked it. And apparently her dad for Christmas went to the shop to get it. And it wasn't there. And of course, this happened before they broke up. Before Peter and Laura Jean broke up. But I remember reading that and I'm like, oh, he has the necklace. Oh my god, he bought the necklace. But now I'm kind of worried that Josh bought the necklace. I don't want him to. I want Peter to have bought her this necklace because it's his mom's shop. He would have seen her looking at it all the time. Like, I just want them. I want him and her. Oh, they broke up, and it was just so sad. It was kind of a dramatic breakup. I mean, it was an understanding breakup because he wasn't defending her when rumors were going around that they had sex in the hot tub, which is not cool, dudes. If you didn't do something, don't say you did something. That's how you lose the girl. It hurt. It hurt real bad, especially when I got to the last page and she started writing a letter to him, and then there was nothing, and it said, read the next book. And I'm like, no, I can't read the next book. Oh wait, no, it's actually at the library waiting for me, so I can pick it up on Monday. That'll be fun. But I just remember freaking out. I'm like, they didn't get back together. They better get back together in this next book. Peter and Lara Jean, like, they are perfect for each other. Oh. I think that ending is definitely what got me hooked. It was a very slow beginning, and I mean, I feel like it kind of needed that. You needed to establish all the characters, what her life is now. And Lara Jean was very immature in the beginning. Like, you could tell she had never really been in a relationship and she didn't know what to do, but she definitely grew with the book. She learned to be more comfortable showing who she is, especially with Peter, and just being comfortable around him and giving out her feelings and all this kind of stuff. So it's definitely a slow beginning, but I think you need it, especially if you're coming off like a high fantasy book. This is a nice book that you can slowly ease into and you're not just boom right into the action. Like, I think you get to like chapter 14 or 15 until the letters are like sent out, which is early on in the book. I mean, the chapters are very short, but it does take a while to get into the action. But I liked it. I liked the slow beginning because, you know, it worked. It worked out for it well. I want to know more about Chris, who is supposedly Lara Jean's best friend. Yeah, she did go on the trip with her, and yeah, she sneaks into her house. I want to know more about her family life. Like, why does she start drinking so much and hanging out with these dangerous guys? You know, what really led her to this? I thought it was going to be something similar to what happened to Lara Jean, where rumors were going around that she was being this scandalous person, and Chris was just like, you know what? Fine, I am this scandalous person. This is who I am now. I just want to know more about her. She's such a mysterious person, and I want her and Lara Jean to have more of a friendship, and I just feel like Lara Jean needs that. She needs someone outside of her family and outside of her crushes to be like, I need this person. You're my person to talk to about this stuff, because my family won't understand, and I can't talk to my crushes, obviously, because they're the ones who I'm talking about. But yeah, alright, that's what I thought of To All the Boys I've Loved Before. Tell me down in the comments if you've read this book, if you have any other recommendations for books like this. I really like the writing style of it. So if you have any recommendations, let me know, and maybe I'll do a book review on them. The sequel will be hopefully coming soon. I'm picking it up on Monday from the library, so hopefully I can speed read that and get a video ready for you guys. Until then, my name is Ashleigh. I make videos every Tuesday and Saturday. Hope to see you soon. Bye!